And for us, we didn't really think, wow, we're going to do cigars. We knew we had a logo. We knew we had a brand. We said, okay, what do we do? And throughout time, we became passionate about cigars because part of the reason why we had a humidor shop in Honduras was
we needed to pay rent.
We needed to pay rent.
I want to just welcome you guys, both Doug Bryant Bocock brothers, family business, brothers here in arms, just as we are here. It's such a cool thing to watch this happen. And I know a bit of your history. I know you were you running the club in Honduras?
I was running the club, yeah. I quit the hospitality industry and went back to Honduras. I wanted to do something different. And I saw the beautiful city. Well, and at night, Tegucigalpa is just breathtaking. It looks like a million stars, and it's because of the mountains and the terrain. So when it's nighttime, it's just beautiful. So I said to myself, why isn't there a rooftop anything here, and why isn't anything open on Sundays? So with that, family has, they have some properties, some towers, and we were able to put our club on the roof of that tower, and it was just it was incredible.
It was called 360.
360 because we had the entire floor.
It was the 18th floor of this rooftop at some towers in Honduras, and but it was such a large space, and Brian, and again, very expensive to run. The rent was ridiculously high, and
it was for where it was, for I don't want to say for Honduras, it was very extravagant. So we brought in the nightclub. It was very successful. But what runs, clubs are Thursday, Fridays, and then we did the Sunday fun days. But we needed more ideas and more things. So then we brought on a coffee shop. We also had a sushi bar, which was very successful. So at night you would order sushi right at with the breathtaking views on the roof, and it was a dream come true. And from there we had so much space, it was huge. So we added a humidor and teamed up with a few people there to start selling cigars.
We knew nothing about cigars. We're like, Brian,
did you smoke cigars at that point? You enjoyed them, or it was an opportunity for you to get into it?
Occasionally, we had friends that would bring a few sticks, some macanudos, some Romeo Julietas.
We were big into the Cubans because we didn't know. We were just experimenting. But then people like Rocky and a few others came over, and we started. I really enjoyed their sticks, and learned a lot about the leaf, right? Danlí is really close to Tegucigalpa, so it was the perfect match.
So where does this connection, is there a cigar that you remember? Is there a moment that you remember where you said, this is what we need to do?
I'll probably let Brian speak to that, but because he shared the passion about this one cigar, and we said, hey, we love this cigar. Let's make it better. Let's do it. But this cigar kind of got us into the cigar sort of world. For us, we thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because we were mild smokers. This is a vintage 1999, the Rocky Patel, Connecticut, and we just loved that cigar.
Loved it. Still do. It's an all-time favorite. And I said, I don't know what this is. It's just fantastic. It was a daily craving after that. So I would always just smoke that, and from there I fell in love and wanted to replicate that. That's where that came from. That passion.
And improve it and base it on the palates of what we liked at the time, and what we've heard from other people that they liked, and so the reason why we created the Connecticut, our Connecticut, was because of that. So we started with that blend initially. The Connecticut blend was the first one. Fast forward, we no longer have the club. Brian came back to Houston. We unfortunately we did not have success with, the plans were too big and the rent was too high, and Honduras had some political instabilities as well, so that didn't help. And we said, okay, well, Brian came and crashed in my wife. We were living in a one-bedroom studio with the wife. Yeah. Brian was a bit defeated.
With my pride, broken. It was after living that extravagant life and doing things that you thought you were going to make an impact, and coming back defeated, right? So it's a story of blood, sweat, and tears.
It's an American story. It's the American dream story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You go from somewhere else, you make your way here. Now, you guys moved to the United States when you were in your teens. Is that what you were saying?
I think
I was 14, moved to Houston, Kingwood, Texas. So played football there, although, I wasn't as good as you guys, and, I was a short dude. Dude, I've got some really fun stories because I was terrible at it, but the PE coach or whatever is like, dude, you need to play football because you're kind of bulky. You could be a good... And so I got into playing football, and man, it opened up a completely new... Just being in sports 5A Texas, holy crap. It is a different deal altogether. So did that, learn more of the slang, which was really good for me because they could teach you all this English you want in a Honduran bilingual school, but you don't learn the stuff that you learn in the locker rooms, right?
Right.
And that was fun. There was a point in time in that story that Brian took a different path, and he went to Honduras because he was like, hey, I went to college here, went to University of West Florida.
Went to UWF in Pensacola, and lived with a brother as well, with Robbie. And so he lived with Frank. I lived with Robbie, older siblings from a different mother, and then helped us with the trajectory, which is to graduate all 7 of us, right? So then it was up to us to help our sister out to finish school. She's a Raging Cajun. Went to UL. So all 7 of us finally, graduates, which is it's an incredible.
Yeah, some took 10 years, some took 6 years.
Yeah, I wasn't on the 4-year program.
No, neither was I.
Where I want to get to is that moment when you come back. You're beaten, you're defeated, you're picking yourself up.
Yes.
And how much time elapsed between that point and the time that you start Bocock Brothers Cigars?
Well, I'm sitting on his couch. He's working.
I've got a real job.
I'm a dreamer. I really don't particularly enjoy working for the man.
And you were in oil and gas, so you were the man, right?
Yeah, and I enjoy that. That's me. I've got the corporate account. I like taking people. Well, who doesn't like that? I do that. But yeah, he's more of a dreamer. We call him the balloon of the family, so the helium balloon. So my sister and I, we got to bring him down. Like
Yep.
his ideas are just extravagant, and we learned right with the I guess the failure of the. Well, actually, I wouldn't call it a failure because we learned about cigars, and we built all of these relationships, but money-wise, economically, yeah, it wasn't a success. And that's where I used to get really upset with Brian. He was drawing up all this stuff and these logos and the Bocock with and I loved it. It looked great. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going into another venture with you. Like, dude, we've got to do the cigar. It's our dream. I'm like, dude, it's kind of your dream. I've got to work. I'm married now. He's a bachelor, by the way. And I remember just seeing the visual, and he explained it to me. He sat there. He was like presenting it to me. I was like, Brian, I'm not going to do this, but you know what? I don't want to pass up on this badass opportunity. This seems like something good. I could feel it. I'm like, dude, this is us. This is our name on the box. There's finally a chance to do it. You're not really working. You don't really care about this job too much at the time. I was like, I'm doing it because he's made me passionate about these cigars. And we'd always try blends, right? So he'd always have packages come to the house. I was like, how did you pay for these packages, dude? Oh, well, I had a little, extra money. And, all these packages come to the house. We'd smoke cigars. Like, oh, well, this one was this was that. We were having, and so he kept that relationship in Honduras with with several of cigar factories in Danlí. And so that's how we kept the spark going. The passion, the cigars, we'd smoke at night, all these crazy ideas, drinking bourbon. Wake up the next day, I'm like, oh, these were all just ideas. But eventually we said, let's do it. Little by little, we got the patent and all that crazy stuff, which took a lot of time because we didn't have the funding, right? It took about 8 years. So that whole process took 8 years. And we finally said, hey, let's do it. And we tried to do it. We had the import license. We thought we were all ready to go. And all of a sudden I'm reading online. I was like, Brian, we're not ready, man. We've got to get the FDA, the DME,
we did everything.
The substantial equivalence.
We did everything backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
We did everything backwards. I designed the box, did the blending, did absolutely everything and we didn't realize that there was an FDA approval necessary. So substantial equivalence. I wrote a paper. I wrote a 63-page. It was a 63-page document with lots of information, because I was trying to call the 1-800 number for the FDA. Nobody would pick up. So I sent them this letter. FDA calls me. Listen, man, the only reason I called you is because you sent me this huge ass document. I don't even know what the hell it is. Just to let you know, you're way off. But you caught my attention. This is what you need to do, and I'm going to guide you through the path. And I'm like, holy shit. That was like...
That's where the spark was.
That's when
momentum
the FDA
began.
Momentum began, and he gave me the direction on how to finalize the process and get to the approval.
So you go through, you approve. Now you have 3 blends that I'm sure you've been working through. Yes. What are those 3 blends? What are some of the elements of each one of them? Starting, let's go Connecticut. You have 3 sizes of the Connecticut.
3 Vitolas, the Robusto, the Toro, and the Churchill.
And what's that blend makeup?
It's Honduran wrapper, Connecticut, Connecticut seed from U.S. and grown in Honduras. It's got a Costa Rican binder.
Why would you go Costa Rican there?
It gives it that sweetness. It gives it that mellow,
that little
taste,
ring to it.
And it keeps it, that's the binder, of course, keeps it together, keeps the filler, and then we got a little bit of Nicaraguan and Honduran. So it's mostly Honduran, but it's got some Nicaraguan in there to give it that peppery, that extra flavor. It's.
Let's go to the Habano.
Yes.
Fitting into the Habano and sticking on that blend side of things, what's that makeup?
The Habano is also a Honduran wrapper, and it's got a Sumatran binder. And then it has Jamastran filler, and also a little bit of Nicaraguan. But it has a little bit more intensity than the Connecticut, and it gives it that beautiful, that delicious medium-bodied flavor.
But I think, to me, in my experience, is it lives in the Goldilocks zone. It's not boring. It's not intense. It has this depth. It has something that's, for us, what I like about it is, for someone's first cigar, they can fire it up.
Yes.
And it's not peppery on the light, which I think throw a lot of people off. Now, obviously, that's there intentionally on many cigars. However, with yours and the blend that you've created, it's very vibrant, very bright, very easy.
Yes.
That kind of squats down and gets wide as you smoke it. It seems to have a lot of change front to back.
Yes, it does. And this the World Traveler Collection, and it's called that because of we travel all through Latin America and in the oil and gas business, and we travel everywhere. So it's a portfolio that fits everybody, from your novice to expert. They'll love it. Either way, they will find, out of the 3, they will find something that they like.
Mm-hmm. And that goes to the 3rd, which is the Maduro.
Yes.
What is the composition of that?
The Maduro was
the most
was
difficult one to create.
And it's because the Maduro, we had launched originally with a Maduro. It was selling okay, but it didn't have. And we caught this very early on when we launched. Thanks to actually a humidor we were just like we come to you and ask you for your ideas. It was Santa Barbara.
Down in Houston.
Nicole at Santa Barbara. She mentioned this. It doesn't have it doesn't have. It's flat, and it doesn't have it. I just want to let you know. So we reviewed it, and indeed it was the factory was lacking. They told me, yes, we admit to the fact that it is like this because we're missing vital ingredients for this. And I said, well, guys,
de Nicaragua.
Guys,
that's it. And that it goes to why you have to spend the time there.
Yes,
makes sense.
You have to let them know the feedback that we're getting here. I mean, first order of business, getting back to the fact we say, guys, you guys did really good here. This is where sometimes folks can cut corners, right? If you're not putting enough oversight on things,
Yes.
and that's why we made a very conscious effort and decision to say, Brian, you need to spend the time down here. So he spends 6-7 months out of the year down there in the factory, making sure sourcing the ligeros. And it's still a relationship game, right? Just like anything else. It adds another element of.
Yeah, it's so intimate that you know the blend master has gout, and so do I. So I take a daily como se dice apio, celery.
Yeah.
I take celery juice every morning, and that's been my remedy. I don't know, it just works for me. And he sends me pictures now of him with his green. He would never. He likes to drink, right? He's like, I'm being healthy now. I'm drinking the celery juice that you taught me to. So this is that bond that we have. It's just.
And we're getting sidetracked. I know you were.
We're going all. No, we could talk all.
No, but this is exactly where I think is a good kind of circle around to where you're at, and where I really respect the difference of the mindset. Mm-hmm. And it's basically keep it in the family. What I mean by that is when you say, I like showing this to the rollers. Yes. I like showing this to the master blenders. I like showing this to everyone because they need to be connected. What is your mindset in essentially that, to me, seems like your purpose?
Yeah, because we started this knowing that we weren't going to get rich in 1 day or 2 years or whatever the case may be. Our purpose was, let's stick with Honduran because that's where we're from, and that obviously provides some sort of credibility. We're from Honduras as well, and so that's a way of championing our tobacco, our country. We're very proud of that.
It's very complicated down there. It's a very difficult situation. So your purchases and purchases from everyone keeps people down there, moving, active, energized. So really, I want to thank Blackbeard Media for doing our branding, our marketing. They're fantastic. Modesto is the ring maker in Tegucigalpa, working with 1950s Heidelberg machines, all done by hand. The bow tie has to go on top of the rooster. I mean, it's just some amazing work that he does, that he's done for 50 years. And then I want to thank the Fábrica San Judas, Tadeo, Rydell, and Marvin, who are the blend masters responsible for making these cigars. So I wanted to do a shout out to these people because without them, we really we wouldn't be anywhere, so we wouldn't have Bocock Brothers cigars. So many thanks for that. For sure.
A todos en Honduras. Muchas gracias a todos y bienvenidos. Gracias por la oportunidad de vivir nuestro sueño.
Sí,
definitivamente.
Sí, a todos.
Salud. Muy agradecido.
Salud.
Igualmente. Salud.